Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast covers everything tech. The hottest mobile phones, tablets, games. We review it, rate it, test it. Whether you're Microsoft or Apple, Android or iPhone, we'll give it to you
again and again.
Black and white. The Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast.
Hello, welcome into the GSMC Technology Podcast on a Tuesday today here. My name is Tom Doherty, your host. As always, this podcast is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, as we're going to do some talk on technology today and as usual, our favorite technology companies and business platforms that bring us our favorite devices and services and such, as well as video games, of course, is Fortnite, again, of course, since Thursday. We talked about on Thursday the 5.1 patch. Now we got 5.2 already in a matter of days. So I have a couple more things to get to with that. Fortnite stuff, we'll get to that throughout the show, probably in the second segment. First segment, we're going to go over the Amazon Alexa and kind of like, I haven't talked about it in a little bit, but I want to just go over a couple things regarding, what do we do with it really? What does it turn into? We're going to get changes in these smart home devices where they're going to start having screens on them. Is that going to change how we use them at all? And I'm going to get in on that in just a second. And then also I'll probably give my comments on the recent news that I don't know if you guys know, but this is obviously we're a podcast here. There's a very popular podcast in this country called, there's multiple different ones, but called InfoWars, run by Alex Jones. And depending on your political views, I'm not going to comment on what my opinion of Alex Jones is. You can probably extrapolate that from my tone a little bit, but yeah, you can't find Apple cracked down. If you're listening to this on an iPhone right now, through the Apple Podcasts app, and you want to go over and toggle the Alex Jones's shows, you can't do that anymore. I think I read somewhere all but one or all of them are gone, and not only are they just gone from being able to be searched to watch new episodes, the whole archive is gone. So, and then also Facebook, I think, did the same thing where they are deleting a bunch of his pages because they constantly posts things that are against the community guidelines of Facebook. So, and I'm guessing it's the same kind of thing with Apple, where this guy's just basically spewing conspiracy stuff and trying to sell disaster preparedness stuff. And I don't know. If you go to his website and you want to buy something, you probably could find it. The guy literally sells everything. It's kind of ridiculous. He sells like fake testosterone stuff too, I think, like for men that think that they're not manly enough. It's pretty sure it's like a powder. Just ridiculous. Well, I'll talk about him probably a little bit more throughout the back on the back half of the show. And then also talking about Samsung and how they're going to have an event for the Galaxy Note 9, and then also want to talk about Samsung and how they could be making changes to processors and to how to storage on your phone, and they're going to try and get, these days is like, for a 2 terabyte hard drive, how big? Okay, well, it's as big as your phone. You can go buy a 2 terabyte hard drive that's as big as your phone, and it looks like Samsung's trying to go even smaller with something like a 4 terabyte. There's a 4 terabyte SSD and mobile storage cheaper. So yeah, that would be crazy. A 4 terabyte SSD would be crazy. But Samsung is about to make that apparently, and we'll get on that stuff throughout the final couple segments as well. All right, going back to the top, as we were just talking about Amazon Alexa, and really the topic is, why don't we buy anything through the Alexa capabilities? Why don't we say, hey, Alexa, order me this? And I think there's multiple reasons. We like screens. We've been raised on screens. We've been trained on screens. We are comfortable with screens, and we like seeing the products that we're going to buy anyway. So whether it's going to be like a lack of control situation or just kind of FOMO, fear of the unknown, more than fear of missing out. But yeah, you're going to be missing out on seeing that thing before. And obviously, it makes sense that, okay, if you're a repeat buyer, or you know exactly what it is, or if it's a food item, or if it's a normal household item. It's funny because Amazon actually kind of beat themselves at their own game. Before we even got to this phenomena of Alexa and talking to it, I mean, there's multiple reasons especially with the whole talkback part of it, and the spoofs you can make and the jokes you can make on you, because it doesn't always understand you perfectly clearly every time. So the last thing you want to do is order something that sounds very similar to something else, and you get the wrong thing in the mail in a few days, and then you have to go through the process of returning it. So you might as well just see it on your screen. It's not a big deal. Obviously, we're going to get to these. The Echo Show actually has been out for a year, I think, or two, and they're going to be revamping that, I think, and we're going to be getting a Google Home as well with a screen on it, as well as an Apple a HomePod as well with a screen on it. So, whether that's going to try and we're going to start ordering things with our voice commands now, because you're going to be able to pull it up on the screen and confirm it's the one thing you want, then so be it. But I just think it's the point that, yeah, we like seeing what we want. Amazon kind of beat themselves to their own game with their whole repeat buying things. If you really want to order things multiple times or have a consistent order, they have the dash buttons. They have the buttons already for that. And you can just get a button for pretty much any brand you need, whether for normal household stuff, whether it's laundry detergent, garbage bags, toilet paper, toothpaste, literally everything, anything you possibly, bread. Probably, I don't know. Well, bread's one thing. Well, I don't know. I just know that one thing I would use Amazon Alexa for. I think I've talked about it on the show before when we announced that. When we were talking about the merger between Amazon, or at least the acquisition of Amazon of Whole Foods by Amazon. When that happened, Amazon really integrated their services with Alexa to add things to your fresh basket, and you can say, "Hey Alexa, add lettuce to my, or add romaine lettuce to my fresh basket." Even though, that goes into question, do you really want other people going and picking out your produce for you? Do you? I think maybe that's going away from that a little bit. I know some people really would like to go out and pick their own food. But now we're getting to a point where, people are getting, we're going to have to talk about this, because this is kind of gets into our technology thing and how we're not going to be leaving our houses pretty soon here. If you, other than maybe going and picking up our fresh basket from Whole Foods that we ordered on our Alexa Echoes. But, if you really think we're not going to leave the house, then I advise you to go watch the latest Netflix special by Tom Segura. It's pretty hilarious. You'll get it right. It's perfect. It's right at the beginning of the show. His first joke is like, we're not going to be leaving the house at all in like 5 years. He basically describes WALL-E and how you have those people who are just kind of sitting in those floating chairs, and they're getting very, very fat. But with your fresh basket and with how it's how it's been working with Whole Foods, you can do the same kind of thing and go picking your own produce, all that kind of stuff. But Thomas, it's not a food podcast; it's a technology podcast. Well, there's another app. It's called Plated. There's also another company which all works through an app or website called HelloFresh. There's also Blue Apron. All these different food services that are going to be able to bring you things and bring you prefix meals, basically. And you just make it. I did one last night. I made pork chops and fig compote with a beautiful chive butter potatoes and green beans, like scaling green beans. It was delicious. It was beautiful. And it's like, okay, one thing is they pick out all the produce for you, so it's kind of like, okay, sometimes it's lettuce could be a little better or something like that, where that's going to go away. But yeah, there's your newest newest thing that the technology has allowed us to do. Not only can you get food delivered, like hot food delivered, like you've always been able to do with a phone call or DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever you're going to use to get your food delivered, but you're going to be able to get food delivered to your doorstep once a week, and it's a prefixed meals ready to go for you. So, I mean, that's been around for a while, and honestly, it's a really cool service that you could do whether you like. We use Plated at my house. You can also, like, Blue Apron is a thing, and also HelloFresh is also a thing. Freshly is the one that you just put in the microwave, but HelloFresh is similar to those other two that I said. There's probably there's other ones. I just can't remember the names off the top of my head. But yeah, Blue Apron's good, and so is Plated. Is really good. I like Plated because when you played it looks really cool. It's just all right. Well, Amazon Alexa, are you gonna buy things off of her? Are you gonna finally tell her to say, "Hey, Alexa, I need this. Can you order it for me?" Maybe it's also a product of people not setting up their actual accounts. Maybe, I don't know. There's probably a little more account setup than you think, other than just like telling Alexa, "Hey, can you place this on Spotify, or play this on Pandora, Alexa, or tell me a joke." Obviously, Alexa getting to a point where it's kind of just a speaker that you could. I mean, that's what we use it at my house. I might play Sports Jeopardy here and there, but it's kind of turning into just like a speaker that plays. You could on demand tell it to play music. Basically, I mean, they are smart speakers. That's the thing. But it is a pretty interesting thing how it worked. I mean, Amazon was a company that sold books online, and obviously turned into the world's biggest retailer. And then they end up beating Google and Apple at their own game and cause them to scramble to catch up at a market that was really untapped. And that's that the home speaker, the smart speaker market, obviously went haywire and crazy, and obviously made Jeff Bezos quite a bit of money. But it's just interesting to see, when you got picked, when you got something right, when Google and Apple are just trying to pick up the pieces and kind of lay in your wake a little bit as you become the proprietor of the proprietary technology that everybody liked, and that was the Amazon Echo. And so that's some of your main issues. You can't really see. I mean, when people not buying stuff on Amazon Alexa, I mean, I get it. We're on our computers, we're on our phones every day. Anyways, I can go right now on my phone and in 2 clicks order whatever I want. I mean, it's not like it's that much faster. The convenience level is pretty much what you would only get if it was way more convenient, if it was much more easier than it is already just doing it on your phone. Then you probably would see an increased usage. But the problems with some of the voice recognition and actually understanding what we're saying, and then the fact that you're not going to be able to see the product either is kind of sketchy as well. It's probably it's mostly for things you think would be repeat buying or something that what it is, a specific product as well. This was actually all. I mean, the fact, like, Tom, how do you know that nobody's buying from Alexa? Well, there was a report out, and it reveals to the public that Amazon probably already knows it, but nobody really buys anything off Alexa. And I mean, I don't think they really care. Do they really care? They don't need it. What's the difference between me ordering off Alexa and me ordering off my phone? I don't think it really matters to Amazon. I need to do license plate covers because I got a new car. I ordered them on my phone. I didn't have to tell, hey, Alexa, look up San Francisco 49ers license plate covers. Like, really? No, just go on your phone, type it in, press 2 buttons, and order it. And then, the other thing is, there's actually multiple reasons I'm thinking. Hopefully, I've never ordered anything off of Alexa, actually, so I couldn't tell you if she does actually ask you, like, where do you want it to be shipped? Which credit card do you want to use? Because I know multiple people, and it seems like Amazon doesn't, either they don't care or they kind of allow it to happen, or it's some sort of loophole. But I know people that have multiple people on their Amazon accounts. They can have upwards of 6 or 7 people on their accounts with 6 or 7 credit cards and 6 or 7 different addresses to send things to. So whether it's you do get prompted to say, or it goes by the default, and then all of a sudden the main person on the account gets their card charged, or whatever the default card is gets their card charged. That's an issue. So I mean, but then again, you'd assume that maybe not all 6 of those people have an Alexa in their house. Okay. Now I'm contradicting myself. That means that we're probably done with this. We're probably done with this topic. All right. Well, actually, perfect timing. We'll come take a quick break, and we'll come back and do some talk on Fortnite, of course, as they have updated yet again and added some more stuff with this 5.20 patch that came out just yesterday or today. Yesterday. All right. Stay tuned. We're back.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Technology Podcast on a Tuesday today here as we're going to go into those patch notes for Fortnite. The biggest news out of those patch notes is the addition of a new shotgun, as that's what really moves the waves. Our new weapons, of course. So we have a new double barrel shotgun, fires 2 shots in a row. Doesn't need to be reloaded until those 2 shots, of course. So reloading without 2 shots without reloading should be quite the weapon of choice, apparently, as expected to be, at least. And it is available in Epic, which is a purple colored one, and Legendary, which is a gold colored variation. So it'll also pack a punch close range, but also has a very steep damage fall off hat range, obviously, like any shotgun would, because it's spraying pellets. But yeah, so it's definitely much more of a close range weapon. If you want better damage, if you get further away, it's going to definitely fall off like other shotguns. It's going to fire that 10 pellets, but it does have a larger spread, and the damage multiplier is lower though, to 1.25, as it does have the 2-second cooldown when weapon swapping as well. So that's pretty big. All right. Looks like that the damage at extreme close range for Epic is going to be like a 143 rating, and then 150 rating for the Legendary damage at extreme close range. Another limited time mode is going to be was released as well. So we talked about it last time, the limited time mode with the jetpacks. Now it's going to be steady storm limited time mode. It looks like the storm will start shrinking immediately and never stop though. It's going to be, there's no safe zone that's predetermined, and you kind of just have to pay attention to which way the storm's going, and then obviously pay attention to it, because it's going to cause 10 damage per second on you if you get caught in the storm. So definitely watch out for that. New improvements have come for this, as there's going to be for the Nintendo Switch and such. So I'm going to give you those little specs on what to expect from the Switch, at least the improvements that have come. Epic has made a quote unquote significant GPU optimization on Switch. This is it's definitely an improvement, definitely a needed improvement, as the game has been a little bit wobbly, reported on the new console by Nintendo, and we'll just have to see now with these updates and improvements if it seems like it's any better. I'm assuming. I mean, it's pretty sophisticated technology. These companies should be able to tweak them a little bit in order to make it better. Now, apparently, we're going to have some challenges that are going to appear in game. Of course, this is a wish list item that was put together by a lot of people. I know this is I'm getting all this actual information I'm getting from actually is Forbes, and I use GameSpot a lot too for my research on here. But this is actually Forbes had the best expose kind of on this new patch notes. as well. I mean, you can go on epicgames.com. They have that's one, I think, give Epic Games credit. They do a really, really good job of, number one, marketing, because they do it in the game, obviously, tells you what's coming up new, and they do a great job of explaining things in their own website. So whenever I link the patch notes, it's usually from the Epic Games website, and I'll probably do that again today. And but no, this is just giving me, I just found the Forbes one was a little bit better with the giving me a full overview, and just better I mean, we're using multiple sources on this for here. We're not just a one source kind of thing. All right. It looks like, so we're going to have the challenges. So we're going to have, obviously, in your in-game map screen, you're going to have suggested challenges as well as daily challenges for you to try and accomplish, as well as a tracking challenge. So obviously, definitely make it easier to help track your challenges throughout your and in the progression of them throughout your gameplay as well. So as the season goes on, obviously, it definitely becomes more difficult to figure out which challenges you've done and you need to do. So this is definitely going to be something more, definitely to help you organize that out. And it looks like something that definitely some people wanted badly, as it was a wish list item that definitely was fulfilled by Epic Games. All right. In general, it looks like we're going into the full patch notes here that they gave me on here. As in general, it looks like that certain interactions will interrupt reloading. So, by the way, if you do certain interactions while reloading, it'll stop your reloading process, and you'll have to do it again. It looks like that in the item shop, you're going to have some just better fixes on the item shop and event store with your time left. It will actually appear the right way in both Battle Royale and Save the World. And then in some bug fixes, actually there's a bunch of them on here. So let me just pick some big ones that I had circled on here from before. Looks like the changing input options, looks like will show a confirmation message if you replace a current input bind. So to take that into account for your next time that you do that. They did fix an issue that could cause multiple selection boxes to appear when using a controller. So if you were doing that, if you saw that during your gameplay, this will definitely address that. If you want to, for anything non-English audio device, it will now display correctly in the audio settings menu. So that's definitely something that will definitely help. And then for those who use the PC service, it looks like the function that usually where you can lock your mouse cursor, stay in windowed mode, now will actually function properly, and or alt tabbing will return to mouse lock status. So there you go, as that one's fixed for you, looking like that. And then also players using voice chat will never now it looks like they've so the people were kind of getting in the wrong channels on when you're switching parties back and forth. So it looks like that players using voice chat will no longer join the wrong parties when you do switch channels quickly, or join the wrong voice channels, or unable to send or receive voice chats because you're toggling quickly. But looks like that's fixing. Looks like it's going to be fixed there. All right, and then that's kind of it. I mean, like I said, I'll link these for you guys to go on there. The weapons and items available, like we talked about, the double barrel shotgun, the epic and legendary variants. You can be found from floor loot, cheats. Cheats. You wish. Chests, supply drops, and vending machines. There's going to be delivers a high burst damage, like we said, at the close range. The epic variant, we talked about the difference in the damages with the epic variant at 143 and the legendary at 150. And then also this vending machine rebalance. So it looks like the vending machines are going to spawn more often, but they're also going to cost less and have increased and quote unquote increased chance to spawn at a higher rarity. There you go. So the spawn chance is reduced from 7.27% to 6.67%, and the material cost will is reduced from 100 to 75. And then that's for the common vending machine. And the uncommon vending machine will be spawning chance actually is increased from 14.55 to 20%. So the uncommon one is going to happen more often. And then your material costs will be reduced as well, from 200 to 150, and then the rare vending machine increased from 14.55% to 220% as well, and they also reduced the cost from 300 to 225. And of course, there's two more vending machines. Both have been raised a bunch, and the spawn chance increase has been raised, and the material cost has both been lowered. So it looks like that as well. So. Yeah, and then of course there is the chances for no vending machine to spawn has been lowered. So looks like you're going to be getting some more vending machines as well, and more opportunities to get some good stuff. The remote explosive drop count, of course, that's going to drop down from 4 to 3, max sized from 10 to 6, and then also a higher accuracy penalty for jumping in and sprinting for dual pistols. Don't be doing that. Of course. Accuracy penalty, of course, for submachine guns and hunting rifles. So if you're jumping or sprinting while trying to shoot, you're not going to have as good accuracy, it looks like, or accuracy penalty. Yeah, I'm assuming that was what it means. You're sacrificing your accuracy by doing that. More bug fixes. They fixed an issue that would cause a storm that's already in phase 6 to do 1 less damage than intended. And then also they fixed some issues with the guided missile, as fixed replication issues caused by interacting with the guided missile. Okay, that's what it goes for the for weapons and different things with covering that. Gameplay also has a bunch of different bug fixes they've done. Looks like they fixed an issue where a wall would become invisible when destroyed on client, and then would have some health on the server. That's interesting as well. Gameplay weapon fire position now more closely follows actual player position when crouching and uncrouching. There you go. That's big. That's something that I feel like first-person shooters have had an issue with for a while. So it looks like that you'll have that a little bit better looking. It's more as kind of like, it's a gameplay, the visual of it. And also crouch. Oh, look at that. That's actually kind of cool. Crouch does not interrupt emotes anymore, but it actually is it is going to be disabled, so you can't crouch while emoting. So if you're doing your little dances, you can't crouch. And then also shooting while leaving the crouched stance will no longer fire bullets, but from a full standing height until animation is complete. So you can't shoot while you're coming out of your crouch stance. Or is that interesting? Okay, is that saying that? So this is a quote. This is the quote from their patch notes. Shooting while leaving the crouch stance will no longer fire bullets from full standing height until the animation is complete. So it's kind of saying, so it's no longer going to fire from the full standing height. Okay, so it's going to fire the whole time while you're coming out of your crouch. That's what I'm kind of getting from that, which I feel like is better. Sounds have been increased. Grenade sounds is actually going to be able to honk when you drive the ATK, which is cool. Lower volume impact sounds when harvesting vehicles. Sound effects have been added to when spectating squad mates leave, and then also in the locker menu, you have an audio glider that will fade out when it's unselected as well. So that's interesting as well. As all this UI, there's a bunch of bug fixes with this replay system. Mobile has a bunch of them. So if you want to go, I'm only this. We run out of time in this segment really quickly. If I went and just read every single bug fix that they have, because there's a bunch of them, and there's some on here that you guys have been waiting for a while, because the ones I've already read seem pretty. Well, I know because they're definitely valuable to me as well. All right, so Fortnite. We'll link those patch notes on the show notes for you guys, as they have updated a bunch of stuff. Like I said, Steady Storm LTM limited time mode was coming, as well as those double barrel shotguns in this version 5.2 patch coming for you. And I guess this is the big patch versus last week. Last week was the little patch. This is the big patch because it's coming with all the bug fixes as well. Of course, those shopping carts and the jetpacks for the new rave of the month, at least for a couple weeks, and now we're going to get this double-barreled shotgun coming here. Well, at least it came yesterday. It's available in all those different variations as well. So if you want the gold one, you got to get legendary. All right. that'll wrap it up for this segment. We'll come back and do some talk on Samsung and some updates and some new technology that they're developing over there that could change how we store things on our phone. It can change how much we can store stuff on our phone. And we'll talk about that when we come back. So stay tuned.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, welcome back, GSMC Technology Podcast on a Thursday today here, as we're going to talk about some Samsung stuff going on. As there are reports out that they're going to be creating an SSD chip that's 4 terabytes. I just don't understand if this is going to be crazy. If they can make a solid state drive, which is an SSD chip, that's solid state drive, that you see the SSD all over the place. But no, they're going to be creating something that is something that we haven't seen before, and it's going to revolutionize storage, mobile storage, and it's going to make it cheaper. And if they can, look at this. This is actually beautiful. Look at this beautiful manufacturing here. As I'm looking at this this chip here by Samsung. But looking at it right now, it says it did launch a few years ago. Their first 4 terabyte solid state drive. When they, of course, what they did give the price for, it was $1,500 was the asking price for that. And that's why nobody knew that it existed, because the fact that nobody was going to buy it because it was unaffordable. Now, of course, today the company has announced that there's going to be some mass production of a more, though it's, of course, we don't want to speculate as to it's exactly the same thing or whatever the difference is. It's too early to really know much more, but the variant of it, this affordable variant of with the 4 terabyte QLC SSDs, as this is the knock on the QLC NAND storage that is traditionally used, of course, used in its other phones, and sacrifices speed, especially sacrifices speed for increased density. Of course, the Samsung does promise the same speeds and the same everything when for the new SSD is offering in the with their old drive. So, whether if it's gonna be trying to trade off or whether it's gonna be the best thing ever, we're kind of yet waiting and seeing. And I know it's all of a tech stuff, but of course, this will come with a new family of devices. There's going to be a 1 terabyte and a 2 terabyte variant as well. It's just crazy how they're going to make a solid state drive that's going to go, and of course, given the launch of the Galaxy S Note that's supposed to have 512 gigabytes of storage, of course, you're going to need something that's going to be able to run that. So having that kind of chip is going to be helpful as well. Of course, having this memory card for they'll be able to produce a 126 gigabyte memory card for a smartphone. You're going to have to work on some other stuff as well. Get the technology worked out. 4 terabyte SSD is crazy. It's not. I guess it's not that crazy because they've had it for a while. It's just been too expensive, and the fact that they're going to make it affordable now is exciting, and it's I think it's just kind of a thing where you're going to be able to see it further further put on to their, whether it's going to be in computer laptops or whatever it might be. I think it's, so it looks like this, obviously your SSD drive is going to be more of this stuff for your laptop as well. So continuing on looking at this this card, obviously this is just crazy how big they're making these things. Not how big, but just how big the storage are. Going over to the rest of the Samsung stuff, as we're going to probably finish off the show in this segment here today. I did want to give this, of course, the leaking of this Galaxy Note price leak as well. Of course, there's going to be an unveiling in a couple days, or actually it's tomorrow, for this Galaxy Note 9, and we'll learn about exactly what they're going to be doing, especially what's going to be inside the S10, S9 Plus as well. So it looks like that we'll be getting more and more stuff revealed from Samsung as we go along here. So looks like of course the S9 and the S9 Plus launched at the highest points we've ever seen for the Galaxy S line when they did come out this year. Did of course that high price would then lead to poor sales, and poor sales leads to unprecedented price cuts for 4 of the 5 major wireless carriers. So of course, that's within a month of being released, and that's the thing. Samsung's selling the phones, but they're also selling them in conjunction with Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T. I'm trying to think of the fifth. Who's the fifth one? Those are the big 4 for me, at least right now. I'm trying to think of maybe like Straight Talk Wireless if you're going to go that way, but they use T-Mobile, I think, or Sprint, which is they're going to be the same company pretty soon here once that deal gets finalized. T-Mobile will be acquiring Sprint. At least they're put a bid down. So I know those kind of things move slowly. But we're trying to see with the leak in regards with how much the Galaxy Note 9 is going to cost. We've seen a tweet regarding the pricing in the UK, and you can try and obviously you can do the translation of the currency conversion, and you can figure out that it's going to cost a lot of money. I mean, right now it says it looks like these accurate details. This is from Roland Quant, as he was the one to put the 2 tweets up revealing the pricing for the unlocked Galaxy Note 9 in the UK. That's going to be for the 128 gigabyte Galaxy Note 9. It's going to be 899 euros, which is, or pounds. Is that pounds? That's pounds, isn't it? That's not euros. That's pounds, which is worse, actually. UK pounds are actually worse off than it is for because £1 sterling is $1.30. Actually, that may have changed, because it might be closer than you think. The currency conversion changes all the time. Let's see. I'm going to see how much the. Sorry, I'm just getting on my little bit of a fanboy. Yeah, see, euros 116. See, there you go. It's not as good. But yeah, so 8. Let's go back to that conversion. I'm pretty sure that's the pound, because there's obviously when the UK left the European Union, they went away from the euro. So they're going to have the British pound sterling, which is, there it is, pound sterling. All right. So what was it? $8.99. People are doing this. Yeah, that's $1,100, over $1,100 plus tax, probably close to $1,200, if not more than that, for just the for the 128 gigabyte one. The 512 gigabyte one is 1,100 pounds, which is probably going to be close to $1,500 for a cell phone. And I just don't understand how they're going to justify selling that. I mean, $1,500 for a cell phone, really? Just the whole point why we all have iPhones, or we all have these phones, why I have the same phone, well, I might have the same phone, but my buddy has the iPhone 10, so does Kylie Jenner, or so does Mark Wahlberg, or so, I mean, I'm just making a joke, like we have all the same phones as even the richest people in the world. I'm just giving you an idea. Actually, Kylie Jenner is pretty rich. She's made a lot of money lately, but and so is Mark Wahlberg. So just not bad, not the worst examples, but we all have the same phone. They probably have Apple iPhone 10. iPhone 10, whether it was because there was more price point. I mean, I know that was better, was closer to 1,000 as well, but you can pay the phone off over time. It's all, you get financing or whatever it may be, makes things more affordable. So if that's what Samsung's thinking they can do, then so be it. But just why would you break it? Why would you you have your Galaxy line, which is way more popular than the Note line of phones, and you're going to make it even more expensive. Basically, you're selling a tablet that makes phone calls, and they don't make a good tablet. The Galaxy Tab is not that good, or was it called Galaxy Note Tab or whatever it was? I don't know. They try to combine the names together, but Samsung has kind of been in a weird state lately. I think that if you're really looking for a phone, I think those LG phones are beautiful. The Motorola ones that run the Google. If you're not going to go Apple, Google Pixel. The new Google Pixel phones look great, really, really cool. So Samsung's got to get their price points right or whatever it is. I know they don't really, I can't really get a good glimpse on how their stock is doing because they don't really trade. They have a weird. I think they only trade on the Korean stock exchange. They don't trade on the U.S. stock exchange. Or the one they do is a crazy weird stock. I've tried to look it up before, and it's just not. It's not what you're looking for regarding the stock price. You think, or the stock symbol that you think. I'm trying to think of where here, pulling up the stock. So it looks like see, this isn't even on the NYSE. This is the KRW, which is the Korean Korean stock exchange as well. And I mean, it's at 47,000. I mean, I don't even know what that is. Is that in Korean currency? See, that's weird. I don't know. Do you think they should get on you think they would get on the New York Stock Exchange, but I guess not. Oh, they don't feel like it's necessary. All right. Well, the week that Apple, the week that I can't see a market cap, I can't see. You don't get it. You don't get the right. Or maybe we get. Oh, there's market cap. But that's not the right. There it says 332.36 trillion. I'm thinking that's in Korean currency. Versus the so KRW must be what the Korean currency is, and I can try and convert that and bring it back to you, but I feel like that would take way too long. Then we just have the currency converter up. Or I have the currency conversion app on my phone, which I was talking about before on the show probably, and how during my rants on or my whole expose on the Google, or at least on the App Store, the Apple App Store, you have lots of different options. All right, hold on. How do I find out which country it is? Can I change countries? This is great. I'm trying to figure out what this is. You know, it doesn't matter. We're gonna get it. I think it's right here. Add more currencies. There we go. Korean. I don't think it's on here. Is it going to be up at the top? No, of course not. Oh, South Korean won. There it is. Got him. Back. Updating. Yeah. So you think it's 21,751 Korean won. That's not to one, is it? That's for $19. Yeah, we spent one. Cool. So $1 US is 1,119 Korean won. So yeah, that's just basically 1,000 to 1. Just so we're not quite into the $1 trillion, Samsung. You're not going to be at the Apple heights quite yet. I mean, I think it's the fact that you just don't. They sell laptops. That's true. They sell a lot of things. You think Samsung just makes a lot of phones? They make laptops. They make, all these different kinds of interfaces and screens, TVs, obviously. They sell a lot of TVs. Apple does not sell TVs, so that's one thing they got a leg up on them. All right. I know we're kind of running out of the out of the Samsung rope here, but that's it. Last thing I wanted to do, look up the Logitech charging pace and see how Logitech obviously it created a wireless charging stand for the iPhone 8 and the 10, and it actually is co-designed by Apple apparently. designed a quote unquote in collaboration with Apple, and it looks like that this is. I mean, I'm reading like this should have been the case they made, the port they made from the beginning, because it's actually a stand as well as a charger. So the charger is set up more vertically. And they have there's a little like U-shaped stand in there, and you can set your phone in there, and it leans back up against the charger. You could turn it sideways and have it lean against the charger. Whatever way you want to get the back of that phone to touch the stand instead of having it laying flat on the ground or on the table on a flat charger. So Apple did get involved in the production of this, and looks like that they're going to be allowing Logitech to sell it and be compatible with their devices. All right. That'll wrap up the show today. We'll come back on Tuesday and do some more technology news for you. So everybody have a good Tuesday, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.